We have a variety of awesome Montreal Canadiens news to go over, but I wanted to open this video up with probably the most awesome thing of all. The fact that Brendan Gallagher was healthy scratched yesterday. And I know what you're thinking, Lego, how could you say that is awesome? Brendan Gallagher has been a lifelong Hab. He has been so dedicated and willing and committed to the Canadiens organization. How can you say a guy who has gone out there with an 82-game career, multiple seasons in a row, getting healthy scratched for the first time in his career is a good thing? Here's the thing about that. The fact that Martin St. Louis felt comfortable enough to scratch Brendan Gallagher in place of Cole Caufield yesterday against the Sharks is a good thing. Let's go out there and read some of the comments. So yesterday, when St. Louis confirmed that Gallagher was a healthy scratch, this is some of the commentary from Habs fans after the decision. Oh man, he actually did it. I love Gallagher and he's the soul of this team, but I agree with this move. Let Brendan get a bit of rest before the playoffs. I couldn't agree more. His style of play has caused him a lot of punishment in his career, and he will only benefit from getting some rest. Can he even stand up anymore? He skates at a 93-degree angle. Okay, that's a little bit much. He has always skated hunched over, but it has gotten worse over time. I'm a big Gallagher fan, but it had to be done. No more back-to-backs for him. And I've been saying for years he should work with a skating coach like Barb Underhill if he wants to extend his career a bit. His skating stride and posture is terrible. He's only made it work through sheer willpower, but it's not good enough anymore. Even with a bit more skating, right now Gallagher has a hard time completing passes, and he never had a great shot. The league is too fast and skilled for him now, which is nothing to be ashamed of. He had a great career. Now, I know Canadiens fans are talking about this guy like he died or something, and that's not the case. Gallagher is going to play today against the Anaheim Ducks. But when you take a look at the overall statistics, you take a look at how he has played, Gallagher this season has 20 points in 64 games played, on pace for 26 points over the full year. It's kind of crazy that he got 20 goals last season, when you consider everything that he had gone through. Brendan Gallagher went, 4 years between 20-goal seasons, which is kind of a miracle when you think about the last time he was a consistent 20-plus goal scorer. He was getting 30 goals back-to-back seasons in that time. But now, we all understand that Gallagher, he's 33 years old. He's still making $6.5 million. If the Canadiens want to maximize the value that they get out of that 6.5, they're going to have to make moves like this, because it's been multiple years. Gallagher has been broken down and beaten in this league, and that is not to dissuade anybody from understanding how much of a leader and how valuable he is. He's been a heart and soul guy. But this decision from yesterday to see him get healthy scratched, it needed to happen. Take a look at what Jake Evans said yesterday, what he expects to see from Gallagher today against Anaheim. You're going to see a lot from him, because he's the most competitive guy I know. When challenges hit him, he doesn't give in. He goes right for him. So you're going to see him at his best. Now, speaking about Brendan Gallagher, the guy that ended up replacing Gally in the lineup was none other than Cole Caufield, who did suit up after illness and who was able to make an impact in a big way against San Jose. He scored his 38th goal of this season, which puts him up to 65 points in 64 games on the year. Caufield had gone 2 games without scoring a goal, which is kind of uncharacteristic, but it happens sometimes. You're not going to get a goal every single game, right? He scored a beautiful on-the-rush snipe on San Jose, coming down that left wing, and it's one of these reminders to us Canadiens fans that Cole Caufield is one of the best shooters in the league. 38 goals in 64 games. He is on pace for 48 goals over 81 games. Yes, he missed the game with illness, but if you do the math, Cole Caufield, at the ripe old age of 25 years old, is itching closer towards being a 50-goal scorer in this league. Now, the unfortunate part about this year's NHL is it's kind of a runaway race for number one in the league in goals. Leon Draisaitl has a very big lead. Oh, excuse me, this is 24-25. Go to 25-26, excuse me. Nathan MacKinnon is the number one guy in goals by a pretty big long shot. He's got 44 in 64 games. So, if you do the math on Nathan Mac Daddy this season, spare all the empty nets that he had missed out at the Olympics, he's on pace for 56 goals this year. He's doing really well. But Cole Caufield is in a three-way tie for second in the NHL in goals, with two Minnesota Wild players in Kaprizov and Boldy. That's ridiculous. How is that even possible? Oh, it's because Quinn Hughes is there now. No wonder. But Cole Caufield has more goals than literally every single other player in the NHL, and he has been near the top of this list for most of the season's worth of time. That's a pretty great mark for a guy that is still growing, developing, getting better year by year. I mean, last season he had 37 goals. He's already eclipsed his last year's goal total in, what is that, 16 fewer games played? If that's not progression, I don't know what is. Last year he had 70 points. He's 5 points away from doing that too. Sure, it helps that the Montreal Canadiens are a better team, and thus they're scoring more goals and more guys are getting more points and assists and whatnot. But still, it's a very good mark for a guy who is still a young NHL player. Speaking about young NHL players, I wanted to end off today's video with this. A conversation on David Reinbacher that was posted about yesterday on the Habs subreddit by 86DC. Turns out, David Reinbacher's stock has been on the rise. Courtesy of David St. Louis and Elite Prospects, with his skating and physical skills, Reinbacher has a clear defensive foundation. He's engaging opponents like an NHLer, pushing them to the outside and sticking to his coverage. This was posted yesterday on the Habs sub. Some positivity for Reinbacher is always welcomed. This sub has been well aware of the shift of Reinbacher's game the past few months. It feels good to read that positivity for a prospect that has had a pretty unfortunate evolution so far. Glad to see his recent rise makes him a standout as highlighted by Elite Prospects and David St. Louis. Funnily enough, Dmitry Simashev, the second D selected after Reinbacher, is also heating up. Logan Mailloux is finally turning it around in St. Louis and playing sheltered but good minutes. Ds take time to develop, especially the big guys. I like how stock falling is an entire team. Okay, yeah. I know David coming into the lineup isn't going to have the same sexy highlight results as Hudson or Demidov, but honestly, if he pans out, I think he could definitely have as much of an impact. We have some great D-men on the team, but not very many who are defense-first guys. He could really solidify the Canadiens' back end if he can even just meet most of his potential. I think he pans out into a minute-eating number 2 or number 3. I would peg his upside as similar to Mattias Ekholm. Maybe isn't ideal for the 5th overall pick, but I think a lot of people wrote him off way too quickly. So, Elite Prospects, putting a spotlight here on David Reinbacher and his improvements with the Laval Rocket. This obviously is the positivity that we need heading into the long term for what is one of the more controversial Canadiens prospects. We've always mentioned the story, he's 5th overall, he was taken over Mishkov, etc., etc. But now, after a whole bunch of injuries and a bunch of demotions, sounds like Reinbacher is finally getting everything back on track. So with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Firstly, about the Brendan Gallagher scratch from yesterday. What are you expecting to see out of him today against Anaheim? Thoughts on Cole Caufield getting 38 goals on the season? And how do you feel about David Reinbacher's extended play in the AHL? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.